All right. I feel like the music for that switched up.
It did a little bit. Somebody
Yeah, it's
changed
like
it. Somebody changed it.
yeah, it's a little bit different now. I think that's the one that like comes with the thing, but
Okay.
I'm cool with it. I'm here for it. All right. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Five Bananas. I am your host, Ray the Business, joined by the professor himself, Mr. John Rafford. And before we really get started, let me hit you with the
Are you ready for the main event?
Two hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.
there we
Yeah.
go. Oh, there we go. Actually, you know what? Like we were talking about just off air. I'm a little kind of fatigued from the gym sesh today.
There you go.
So hold on, let's do something a little crazy. It's about to turn into a freaking fight companion. You know what I mean?
Did you see the smelling salt? Oh,
Woo!
whoa.
All right.
That woke him up. That woke him up.
Oh, that calls for one.
Are you ready for the main event?
Two hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time for Boxing Bananas, brought to you by Fight Bananas.
Step. Whoa. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, brother. I'm awake now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. So
Let's
yeah, brother, let's
go.
get back to it. I know you're still having some um technical difficulties with your with your house, but
Bro, I swear to God, just so everybody knows, so we can keep a timeline. So everybody, if you ever wonder in any kind of way, yes, this shit's been 7 months, bro. 7 months.
it's
One more
insane.
month. One more month. Right before hurricane season comes back.
I know,
Son,
literally. Yeah, knock on wood. I hope we don't get nothing this
where's the
season.
wood? Where's the wood? Oh,
You're just gonna have
let's go.
to, yeah, there you go. You're just gonna have to move. Move more
I
inland,
gotta
bro.
make it through a I gotta make it through a hurricane season without a hurricane, and then maybe I can sell it.
Yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, we're back on air. Let's get to it, bro. We missed quite a few boxing events, so I definitely want to and some boxing news, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to I guess like almost like lightning round it. We don't have to go crazy
Let's
into
go.
detail,
Let's
but
go.
definitely want to talk about some of the fights. Obviously, um just off the top of my head, we had Bivol versus Better Beef, the rematch. Um in that whole event, man, what were your thoughts on, pretty much what went down?
I think he did the. I think Bivol made the adjustments. Was able to do what he needed to do to keep the. He always had success in the first fight, throwing combinations and landing and being in that range. And I thought Bivol did the better job of kind of adapting to what he needed to do. Um, the card itself was phenomenal. I mean, a great card. Uh, I'm kind of like actually I'm not even besides the Bivol fight, I'm kind of lost in the card, but it was good. It was a little bit a while ago.
I know we had
And kinda,
so we had Callum Smith with a big win.
yeah,
That was surprising. That was a good fight, big win. Um Shakur Stevenson, a
that
little
fight
bit
was that
better.
okay. To go back to that one, that was a dog fight, but at least that guy made him fight. He
Yeah.
made him fight. He made him do work, and we need more of Shakur Steven doing that than doing the latter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, the thing is that while I give him like a little bit of credit for having that kind of fight, I I don't necessarily give him the credit for it in the sense
Look,
of like, oh,
the
he did
opponent
it.
brought it. The
Yeah,
opponent
the
brought it.
opponent brought it, and the reason why he fought like that is because the level of opponent he had in front of him. Anytime there's like at least a slightly higher skill level, he's just on a bike. So I'm glad that the way that even though he had a stoppage victory, I was loving the reaction that I was seeing online in the
Yeah,
comments. If you look on all the Instagram comments were like, wow, this guy like had a dogfight with with an electrician on 2 days notice. This guy hopped off the construction site. This guy hopped out of the portal potty just to go fight. So
Yeah,
it's
I
just
agree.
one of those, man. I think I've been saying it, and I feel bad because I sound like a hater, but again, Shakur Stevenson kind of just makes his own bed with these things, with the way he fights, the style he fights, and the worst thing that they could have did was given him that vacant WBC title. They essentially
Yep.
gave it to him. And now I see him posting, talking about, oh, I'm the champ. I saw he had some sort of like disagreement with Turkey and then was like, oh, sorry, I jumped the gun. And it's like, dude, you need to take whatever you can get, because if like Turkey's the only one that's willing to pay you like anything right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're going to get any sort of a real payday anywhere else, because you have no marketability,
No.
essentially.
He essentially, like you said before, he always prices himself out of a fight. And I don't think like we sound like haters in certain ways, but we also do give him his flowers when it comes to his elite skill set. I mean, he has an elite skill set. I just feel like he doesn't push himself to the limit that he could be. You know what I mean? Like he definitely is a talent, but he definitely needs to push himself to be the best absolute, Shakur Stevenson there is, not just win by slight little moving around and
He wins by like disengaging.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I would almost like to see there be an amendment to the rules in the sense of like a Shakur Stevenson rule, where it's like if you're disengaging, you're going to lose a point. Excessive
Yeah.
disengaging, because this, at the end of the day, everyone's like, "Oh, it's a sweet science." This is a fight. This is a fight sport. You know what I mean? They're not playing tag. It's a fight.
No.
Sport. So
You need to be like your punches need to have intentions to hurt the person.
yeah, and if not, then don't go pro. Stick to amateur boxing, because you could do that in amateur boxing if you want to play tag.
Yeah.
Like, kind of the name of the game. That's how you score the points. But
Agreed.
yeah. So Shakur, we'll see whatever his next fight is. He'll probably price himself out of it. Joseph Parker knocking out Martin Bacoli in the second round.
I just think it was a matter of Bacoli just becoming in on short notice. I really think that's what it is.
Yeah, because you know what I noticed too is that when he was kind of like ducking, he wasn't ducking all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that has to do with the oversize. I feel like that's something in camp. Had he been in a full camp, the athleticism would have been there to be able to do the full slip. Instead, he was doing more of a partial slip, and that's where he was catching it on the top of the head.
Like when he was fighting Jared Anderson, he was able to slip a little bit more because Jared Anderson's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger of a guy. You know what I mean? And then Joseph Parker is throwing kind of upwards, and he always throws more loopers. So that little slip, like you got to get under that. You got to get under that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I agree. I agree. I think that's right.
I mean, Joseph Parker's had the resurgence of the century.
Oh no, I mean Joseph Parker did what he had to do. Absolutely, 100%.
Solid. Caballel, bro. This guy. I mean, that's 2 stoppages in a row right there. I mean, he's had multiple stoppages in a row, but Frank Sanchez, that was a fight where, people were thinking that Frank Sanchez was going to win, stopped him in the 7th, and then Big Bang Zhang stopped him in the 6th. Yep. Caballel this guy is on the map in the heavyweight division.
Absolutely.
And I love it. So that was a great performance, even though he did come off the canvas, but you're fighting Big Bang, so I don't take anything away from him.
Oh no, yeah, he's a big. I mean, that dude can put anybody's out at any time. He hits heavy, and he takes a good punch.
And then we had Virgil Ortiz beating Israel Madrimov. I thought better than Terrence Crawford did. Huge win.
I think so too.
Huge win for Virgil Ortiz, because Israel Madrimov, even in a loss, his stock went through the roof. And then I felt like Virgil Ortiz just, shot it down. So great win for Virgil. I'd like to see him in that picture now. I think, depending on where he fits in the title picture, I don't know. But because it looks like the WBO is talking about Zayas versus Fundora, even though I don't like that fight for Zayas. I think Zayas is still a little green. Because imagine you put Zayas versus Ortiz Jr. I don't like Zayas' odds in that. I think he's a little young. Give him like 1 or 2 more fights, then put him in there.
How old is he now?
Bro, Zayas is like 23 or something.
Like
he's not. He's pretty young. So Yeah, don't ruin your career. There's too many killers in that division right now, especially big punchers like Virgil Ortiz.
Mhm.
Adames versus Shiraz. I didn't. I actually had to step out for this one, so I missed it. I heard that it was almost kind of like a little bit of a robbery, the draw.
Yeah, I thought
But
so.
I mean, at least Adames still has his title, and then obviously Better Be versus Bivol. Like you said, looked like Bivol made the adjustments. I thought so, especially towards the end, and
Mhm.
did enough to win. But the real question is now, since this is all played out, right? We go back to Bivol's record. The first fight he lost by majority decision. The second fight he won by majority decision. There's this narrative going around that, oh, he's ducking Benavidez now because he gave up his WBC title. I don't see any sort of way that you can say, like, if he goes, oh yeah, well, I'm not gonna fight Benavidez, I'll fight Callum Smith, or I'm gonna fight Anthony Yard, or like one of these other guys, Boatsi maybe, but I'm not gonna fight Benavidez because I'm gonna fight Beterbiev. And even then, if
That's
you
not
look,
dunking anyone. That's
bro,
fighting the
Beterbiev,
baddest man, one of the baddest men on the planet.
yeah, you can't say Beterbiev with one loss to Bivol by majority decision, a guy he just beat before and was undisputed. There's no argument that I can make sense of where you could rank Benavidez over Beterbiev, even
Mm-mm.
coming off of a loss. You just can't do it.
If
So
anything, if anything, David Benavidez needs to fight Arthur Betterby before he gets the chance at Bivol.
for sure, but I like for the sport. I get how people are like, oh, well, we saw the fight twice. Yeah, but Beterbiev gave him the rematch. Now he loses
Oh,
by majority decision, and it's just like, oh, we'll go throw him away.
no. I definitely think they should do a trilogy. This is the reason for a trilogy. You won exactly the same way.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like if he stopped him, no, we're good.
Yeah,
Or if he
I agree.
won 18 to 10 or
Yep.
108, sure. Yeah, no need. But you won the exact same way. You can't just you can't really do that to the man. But like I said, he's by far the number one contender.
Oh,
So
easily.
people
You
may
don't
be like, "Oh, we just saw the fight twice," but
know
we didn't have to wait a year in between fights like we did
because
with
they
like
fight.
Canelo Triple G.
They're fighters that fight. They're fighters that fight.
Yeah, we waited like 4 months. So, okay, run it
Yeah.
back again. And then now we'll set up the undisputed. Sometimes I don't like setup fights, and I think we'll get to that in a second. But with this one, I'm cool with setting it up for David. I just don't know who David's going to fight in the interim. I guess Callum Smith makes the most sense coming off of that win and being ranked in the WBC. So, all right, go out and fight with Callum Smith. Now you'll have another common opponent with Canelo, and let's see what you could do to Callum Smith.
Yeah. I mean, Callum Smith would be after, like you said, after that one, that'd be a legit fight. But no one can argue that Bivol is like, if you are, you're just to me and just being ridiculous. If you think that Bivol's ducking Benavidez because of he decides to fight Arthur Betterby and give him his shot, right? If
Yeah,
anything, I would flip the script and say if he fights Benavidez, he's ducking Beterbiev because he finds Benavidez as the easier opponent. It's that
yeah,
simple.
yeah.
Because you
And
can't tell me that right now you can believe Benavidez is the harder opponent after all of Beterbiev's career and how he won the last time when this guy won exactly the same way, like you're saying. You're
mhm.
not going to be able to convince me in any way that David Benavidez is the harder opponent when the equalizer is you got to be perfect against Beterbiev the whole entire fight
Mhm.
because he has the power to put anyone down. Period. And he's proven it through his career. So
The
no,
only person he hasn't done it is to be Vol over 24
exactly,
rounds.
exactly. And the
So,
guy that Beterbiev put away, David Benavidez didn't put away.
yeah.
You know what
So
I mean? And
now
it's like,
this is what we're looking at, especially like when you go across the 24 rounds between the two of them, they're basically even, right?
mhm.
You do need that third fight. I get where people might be like, "Oh, well, we saw it twice, blah blah blah." Yeah, well, guess what? We still don't
It's the
really have a
highest level boxing match you're going to get in that division.
yeah. So we don't really have a clear winner.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with I'm cool with that. David could wait. And the thing is, dude, David, his team is bad. Whoever's managing David is just bad. Bro, there were so many times where they're like, Canelo's ducking David, Canelo's ducking David. Okay, you're the WBC interim champ or whatever. And then when it would come time for the WBC convention, he had nobody from his team there to forget the word they use, but they go up and they basically say like, "Oh, I want my fighter to fight for the title next," or remember when
Like an advocate. I know what you're saying, but it's
yeah,
like an
yeah,
advocate from your camp.
yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Eddie Reynoso did that when a couple years ago when he had Canelo, like he went up there and was like, "I'm advocating for Canelo to fight Makabu at cruiserweight," and everyone was like, "Oh." And then they were like, "Yeah, we'll give Canelo that shot at cruiserweight," which was insane, but it was just because they asked.
Yeah.
Why are they having a convention and nobody from David Benavidez's team shows up? You would think they would be there every single day, going knocking on the door. Hey, where's my title shot? Where's my title shot? They're just thinking they're gonna get it gifted to them, and you gotta try a little bit harder. Could potentially be Benavidez's last fight. Also, he has spoke about retiring before. Yeah, I think the guy just turned 40. So it's like, okay, give him this last one, and then see what happens. If Bivol beats him again, cool. And then you go on to fight David, or David fights the winner. That'll be a huge fight as well.
That would be
one more after
that'd be
that.
fantastic. Yeah, exactly. That'd be fantastic. But also at the same time, if Bivol puts Beterbiev for wins another one and puts him away, then he can walk off into retirement saying like he lost to literally only one person. He beat everybody else by knockout. He lost to one person, and that's it. I mean, that's literally
it's Bivol. Bivol is Bivol. Even the Canelo loss with Bivol, like considering he was going up to 175, all of that, like that loss. I know some people will be like, "Oh, that the win really ages like wine." That loss is kind of aging like wine. Like we're seeing really who Bivol is. So it's not a bad loss on Canelo's career.
No, it's not a bad loss on anyone's career. He might go down as the best generational fighter that in his weight class.
For sure. So I mean, especially if he beats if he beats Beterbiev again and then beats Benavidez, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how are you gonna argue at 175 that in his generation he's not the best fighter?
Benavidez versus Bivol, however, pay-per-view banger. They're both at the height of their popularity. I agree with that. You know what I mean? It might be a fan thing, but I just it's hard for me to go, yeah, we're just gonna throw Beterbiev to the side when it was the same exact outcome. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. You can't just be like, "Oh, well, I got it back," and it's like, did you really?
Unless Beterbiev says, "You know what? I'll step aside. You can fight Benavidez. I'll take the winner." If he says that, then that's his choice. When it comes to that, and then make the fight. But other than that, no, he deserves he deserves the fight. If he's not deciding to step away on his own accord, he deserves the fight.
Absolutely, 100%. Another fight that went down since one of our last shows is one of our favorite guys.
Oh my goodness!
Now with a draw on his record.
Okay, so
go ahead. I'll let you take it away.
That was I don't care how you flip it, script it, whatever. That's a knockdown. He got knocked down. You don't take a fucking knee after a straight punch. You just don't. I don't. That's the biggest thing about the fight.
But he had gel in his eye.
You don't get to take a knee after a straight punch. You need to move around the ring for a minute. You need to or whatever it is, break up the scenario. You don't get to take a straight punch and then all of a sudden blink and then decide to take one step back and take a knee. That's not how that shit works. It does not work that way. It's not. That is a knockdown. I don't care how you look at it. I don't give the fuck if you get the fuck back up. You're the idiot that the last thing that happened to you just a split second ago was a punch and you decided to take a knee. It's not like he grabbed you, put his weight on you or anything like that. You didn't walk around the ring and blink a few times, try to rub your glove on your eye and then take a knee. You didn't do any of that. You just got hit and took a knee.
Yeah, it was one of
Literally like
those
that.
where
You got
it
hit.
looked like Steve Willis like started to count, and then he was like, "Oh wait, what's wrong?"
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like out of all the like, that's like literally how you beat Ryan Garcia was you hit him to the body. He took 3 steps back and dropped to a knee,
Yeah.
and that was the count started. How the fuck do you get to do the same thing when you got hit? Pardon my language,
So
boxing banana fans. I apologize, but how the fuck? How?
let's
How?
say this. Let's say this. If Ryan took that knee, turned around, went to his corner, and was like, "Oh, hey, sorry, I got, you know, um, something in my eye or something in my face."
Yeah, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, because you know what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to think of a counter argument, and the only counter arguments I've seen where the people are saying, "Oh, well, he had something. He had something in his eye. He had to get it out," and it's like, okay, well, that's still not an excuse. And then other people
Also,
trying to say, bring up other instances where there was the debatable knockdown with Terrence Crawford. That one, it's like some of the times it's situational where they get kind of pulled by momentum. That one, I mean, you could argue left or right, back and forth, but it wasn't him voluntarily taking a knee.
thank you.
So let's see what my man said. Do you
You
guys
made that
think
decision.
the obvious partiality in reffing and scoring in boxing is ruining fights? There's too much stigma in losing. I would be
100%. I
lying.
agree with you.
I'd
SG,
be
I agree
lying
with
if
you.
I said there wasn't. I'd be lying if I said that I don't think that what your question has anything to do with what went down and how sketchy that was in the Gervonta Davis fight.
No,
With
but do I agree with what he's saying? I do think it's taken away, and the stigma of losing is too much. There should
yeah,
not be a stigma of this. Oh, that's bullshit. It's absolutely
because
bullshit.
here are my thoughts. Gervonta Davis lost that fight, and the reason is because that's a knockdown. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. In my second amateur fight, I took a voluntary knee after my shoulder popped out. I knew I was getting punched in the face, and even in that, like literally, and as that was happening, I knew if I'm going to take a knee, and I know, okay, you basically like that's a knockdown. You give up a knockdown if you take a knee, but guess what? You do it. When Chris
Uh-huh.
Algieri fought Ruslan Provodnikov, when he was taking those knees in the first round because he was getting his eye broken, he didn't think, oh well, maybe they won't count it as it's a knockdown. You're giving up a knockdown. Everybody knows that. So for
Mhm.
Gervonta to just act like he didn't know the rules, oh sorry, I didn't know the rules, brother, give me a break. And then on top, shame on Steve Willis, shame on the commission as well, because they had a chance to review it and then they were like, oh, well, we can't do anything about it. Why is there even an appeal process? I
Yeah,
understand where some people get upset by the judges' scorecards and they go, oh, I'm going to appeal this. That it's never going to change. That's never, no
never.
one's ever going to.
It's the way of the commission to collect money.
Exactly. But for this right here, this was an obvious mistake in counting of the rule. It was blatant, obvious. If not, why is there an appeal process? Eliminate the appeal process. There shouldn't be, because if this doesn't get appealed, nothing will.
My,
Absolutely nothing will. So not only do I think that he should have got a point taken for dropping to one knee, he should have got another subsequent point taken for going to his corner and having them wipe his eye. You are not allowed to go to your corner and take a timeout for any reason whatsoever, unless the ref times out and says, hey, I'm taking you. I grab your hand and walk you to your corner because you have tape loose, you have too much Vaseline on your eye, something for that reason, but the ref must escort you to that corner. You don't get to just go, oh, hey, I took a knee. You started counting. No. I'm not knocked down. Run over to my corner, have them wipe my face for me. John, am I wrong with anything I'm saying right now?
no, and my next point to actually add to your argument is everybody before this fight and the fight before that with Frank Martin was talking about how I don't want to say it. How underrated Gervonta Davis's boxing IQ is, right? Everybody was trying to say no, he's very, very smart. I love the way he boxes and everything like that. You do not have a high boxing IQ if you don't know the fucking rules. I don't care how you twist it. You don't. You don't.
Yeah.
Right? You can argue it like, oh, he manipulated it. No, it was sheer factor of popularity that made that happen the way it was. It was
Yeah.
sheer.
If it was
The ref
anyone else
didn't have the
besides him,
balls. The ref didn't have the balls to step up and do the exact thing that should have been done, which means, no, bro, that's a knockdown. I don't care how you flip it, twist it, or none of it. You got punched. 2 seconds later, you took a knee.
yeah, and you should get another point taken because you went to your corner.
Exactly.
You cannot go to your corner for any
So in
reason.
my eyes, he gambled on his popularity with an ego move, not the boxing IQ. So honestly, it makes it to me that it's even worse. It's just blatant. He did it on purpose. He knew what he was doing. And then the last point to it is, you got your hair braided. If the lady's putting beeswax in your hair, you're telling me you don't know? You've had your hair braided how many times for fights?
Yeah, and again, that's on you.
Yes, exactly. So that means
Unless
if that shit got in your
Lamont
eye,
Roach braided his hair, then that's on him. So
if I'm Gervonta, if I'm somebody's cornerman and I put too much Vaseline on your eye and it drips into your eye, whose fault is that? It's my fault. It's the corner. It's the teams. It's everything to do with you.
everyone's fault, the fighter's fault. It's the fighter's fault because it was the team's fault.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So the whole point behind that is you had your hair braided by a teammate. That's essentially what that is, or a service. That's your fault for not correcting it.
Yeah, or guess what? Wipe it out. Do whatever you got to do. If you think, hey, maybe there's too much wax in here, do it. Because how many other times have we had situations where people were putting shit in their hair, and then when they would go in and kind of do this, it would, mess up like
the vision, whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm talking about? Is that old school trick where you put shit in your hair, and then when you're in the inside, you kind of like do this like smother move, and then and then you put it in their face, and next thing you know, they got freaking like mace in their face or something like
that. It's the same thing that's why the refs look at the gloves. If they see it too shiny or anything like that, they go over there and look at it and they want to rub it on their shirts and be like, yeah, no Vaseline on the, you know what I mean? It's the same type of thing. They're smushing them into the face. It's all the old school tricks, but that's your responsibility. That's your responsibility to either follow the rules or not follow the rules. And if you get caught, that's on you as well, right? That's your fault. But it's also now the ref's fault for not following the rules and abiding by what should have happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you need to step up as the middle referee. You're the lead ref in this fight. You're the one controlling the action. Step up and do the right thing. Follow it. Do not be intimidated by the, I don't want to say it, by the popularity or the promoter or whatever the scenario is with the fighter. Don't be
the moment of the fight with the fighter.
Yeah. Like in that scenario, what you're doing, you might be saying, oh, I'm just trying to do right by the fighter, but you're ruining another fighter that actually made this happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. That Lamont Roach should have a victory over Gervonta Davis, and he should be the WBA lightweight champion of the world. Full stop. That should be the way it is. You like just like now Devin Haney's record reflects undefeated. We know he's not. Gervonta Davis's record has a draw on it. Take that one, move it over into the red for me because
the blue spot should be 0, the red spot should be 1.
Exactly. So
and I'm a Gervonta Davis fan.
Yeah.
Like I actually like the guy. I think he's good when he wins. I think he's good for boxing. I really do. Because everybody loves knockouts.
And here's the other thing. I feel like this whole moment has overshadowed the fact that Lamont Roach in a lot of spots in that fight was outboxing Gervonta. Saw a breakdown.
100%.
Bro, I saw a breakdown where, and this might just be because Lamont Roach like knows Gervonta, sparred with him, like he knows him, right? It was showing.
And that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Exactly what you're saying to me when I watched it. That's what it looked like. It looked like a guy who knew the other guy, and the other guy being Gervonta, Lamont Roach knowing Gervonta, but Gervonta being too egotistical, thinking he can dominate this guy like it was in sparring or like it was there. And another guy going, nope, I've learned, I've watched, and I've learned and remembered. This is not happening the same way.
I've trained. I watch your fights because I saw a breakdown where what it was saying was every time Gervonta's hands were here is when he's looking to throw that left hand from the southpaw. That's when
Yep.
he's looking to load up on that left hand. But then what would happen is, and then Roach would just kind of wait, wouldn't throw. Be like, all right, I'm waiting for you to counter. Maybe bait it, like try to do that. And then you would see times where Roach would counter, like it would slip and counter Gervonta's left hand. And then when Gervonta would put a high guard, then that's when he wouldn't throw. So Roach would time it exactly. So that being said,
Another thing I really liked about Lamont Roach, and I think it's a little underestimated. I think the way he was using his shoulder with the shoulder roll, and also the way he was exiting with his punch on the combinations that Gervonta was going, it's like he knew that Gervonta was going to stop with this last punch, so he could range out. Even if he got touched a little bit, he could range out on that last area or get hit just a little bit and realize, nah, you're stopping after this. You're not going for that fourth, fifth combination punch. You're stopping at 1, 2, or 3. And he learned that. And he was like, yo, I'm out. And then he could stand in there and get his 2, 3, maybe 4, and counter off of those. But on his exits, he knew exactly how long Gervonta's combos would last. And it showed. He would only get hit very smidgenly with a right hand or with a power shot. And it would always be on the exit and a roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
He would get he got popped.
I'm not the majority of the power off of it.
It does. And I'm not saying he didn't get popped with some shots. I'm not saying Gervonta didn't have some moments. That's not what I'm saying. But if you look at it and you look at the moments that when he was being defensively sound and he was moving, he understood exactly what was going on. He's like, look, he's going to overextend on this. I might get hit a little bit, but I'm going to be out after that. You know what I mean? And he can range with that. He can get that shoulder up just enough to get hit here or whatever it is. And then with that, he knew then after that, if he starts to reach for it, I can slip off of it. I can hit my counter. I can do that, or I can keep the pressure on and he'll back up. And like you said, when he's waiting for that straight left to drop right here so he can shoot it, then he's starting to work off of that. It's just, he really did study him a lot more than what people gave him credit for. And it sucks that if the fight goes down the correct way, we are all praising Lamont Roach to the high heavens, right? Like we're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. If the referee turns around and just gives him a count and it just makes it, does all the right things. If the ref does all the right things, we're praising Lamont Roach more than we're dogging Gervonta more than we're just dogging Gervonta right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. It's like Gervonta, if he would have just taken the L, would have been maybe a little bit better. Probably not, but because I'm seeing so many people just make excuses for it that I don't know that it would.
No, you just pointed at it. You're right, because right here it says Roach becoming champ could honestly bring in more views than anything. Because of the hater part of it, again, we would be blaming Gervonta, but we would be praising Roach, and then all of the haters would build up the match even more. So I honestly think that's a very good take, just like you were pointing out a second ago. I think that's an absolute great take on that, because so many people are defending Gervonta right now and not giving Roach the flowers that he needs to be given, because he boxed a hell of a fucking fight.
Bro, he fought great. And the other thing too, I think is part of it, and this is part of something I've always said about Gervonta, it's like either part of it, I think, is that now he fought somebody his own size. Because he brought a 130 pounder up to 135, which he's done before, but somebody like Hector Luis Garcia wasn't able to take his power. Roach, on the other hand, was either slipping it entirely or just catching the very end of it and knew what to do. And then that way, because if Gervonta fights somebody at 135, he's putting a rehydration clause on him. That's why you see Frank Martin in the second half of the fight, it looks like his feet are in quicksand. He was moving so well, but then all of a sudden just completely slows down and is there to be hit. So I think that was part of it. And in the rematch, it's either, it could go a couple ways, but I'm thinking either Roach is going to be more confident, where his cautiousness probably helped him a lot. His confidence could walk him into something, or it could be that now it's his second fight at 135. He's going to have a little bit more time to kind of beef up into 135 and be able to make it almost a little more physical as well, which is something that was
No.
kind of lacking a little bit. But
I agree.
if I'm a betting man, what I'll say is what's probably going to happen is it's going to be a really close fight again, and then they're just going to rob. They're just going to rob what's his face, Roach. They'll just rob him outright and be like, oh yeah, whatever. And then all the Gervonta fans will be like, nah, he won that fight, and it's like, nah, you know what I mean? He's not going to. Let's see what SG's saying. That's the model UFC follows. Sometimes it's better for the belt to be passed around. Yeah, sometimes. You know what I mean? Because if it gets a little stale. I mean, the thing is with like the WBA lightweight title, like who really cares? It's more of like the just Gervonta's record title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the longest time, he wasn't even fighting for the full WBA. He was fighting for the regular title. The guy, as far as actual world champions, he's only won 2. He's won the IBF, or now 3. Actually, excuse me. At 130, he had the IBF and the WBA. And then at 135 and 140, he had the regular. But since Haney moved, he got elevated. He got email champed into being the full title holder at 135. So congratulations, Gervonta. You're now 30 years old and you've won 3 world titles and you're supposed to be the greatest guy in the world. But yeah, that being said, any last thoughts on that fight?
I mean, I think it just comes down to Gervonta is the quintessential pay-per-view fighter nowadays. You know what I mean? He won a couple titles. He gets his popularity up. And his whole model is being a pay-per-view star and winning, getting the big paydays and everything like that. And, it all has its place. But I just think as fans, we don't care to see that as much anymore. We want to see real, we want to see you fight the best. We don't want to see you just get pay-per-view views. We don't want to see you just get the big payday. We want to see you fight the best and get the big payday. We want to see the era of essentially like 4 Kings come back.
Yeah, I mean, we had it.
We want to see you fight.
The only one he fought was Ryan Garcia, but it was the skeleton of Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, it's that one. It's at what? They fought at 135?
He won that at the negotiation table. We fought it at 136 and then put a rehydration clause on him as well. The guy his lips were completely, it looked like the Sahara Desert. It was horrible, but it's one of those things. We'll see what happens in the rematch. If they don't book the rematch right away, I don't even know who else he can fight. So,
I mean, I'm down for the rematch. If they should definitely give this a rematch. I'm down for it. Put it on a card with somebody else that's big, and I think you're going to have a great little pay-per-view buy, so everybody's happy. You know what I mean? But don't put it by itself. Don't think he's a draw anymore by that. Put him on something else. Give us fans the view that we need. Put him on if you want to put him on with a David Benavidez fight versus Callum Smith. You know what I mean? If you can make all that happen at once, that's great. If you want to put him with Plant, versus somebody, maybe Plant and Berlanga later. After Plant fights this fight here?
Yeah, Plant's fighting in the end of May.
Yeah, so I mean, however you want to dish it out, maybe, but put them together and give us something to look forward to for that. And I'm excited. I would be excited about it. I would be, thinking about buying the pay-per-view then. You know what I mean?
I think the rematch sells because now there's a little drama to it. I think it sells. I think the rematch sells better than the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
If he fights anybody else, I think we'll see exactly how much of not a pay-per-view star Gervonta is. And I've been saying that his pay-per-view numbers aren't really that good. Like if those were Canelo's pay-per-view numbers, people would be like, "Oh, Canelo fell off." But Canelo's fighting people nobody asked for and still getting 500,000 buys. And people were like, "Oh, well, Canelo's pay-per-view numbers aren't the best." And Gervonta was doing like 275, and he's talking about, "I'm the face of boxing." I'm like, dude, what world do these people live in? So, Fight Bananas. Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in July. Breaking news. Oh, my God, bro. I've been saying that's a fight to make. You
said that was what it was going to be so he could go out there and win a title against that guy with a W, whatever the fuck it is.
What, with the WBA?
Well, whatever it is, you already
WBA
said
said
that
they
that
were
could be
gonna
the same. That would how that's how Jake Paul gets his fucking world championship because this dude has fallen off so far.
Is it done? It's a done deal. Who's that? Dave? Dave, hop on the show. We need you. We need you hopping on the show right now. Put the kids to
But
bed,
yeah,
please.
Dave, jump on. Let's go. Send the link. Let's go. Send Dave the link.
Give us the
If that's
breaking news.
Dave,
Because you know what it is, bro? There's something about when Dave does the breaking news.
he
He's
gets
so
it so clean.
he's so good at it.
You saw what he
Breaking
did. He
news,
saw, hey,
guys.
you saw him cut his hair.
Send location. Dave cut his hair. What did he do? A
Hey,
foreguard?
send location. Send it, bro. Send it.
Send it. Hop in, bro. This is his thing.
No, but you gotta just send it. Send him the link. Send him the link. Get it. Send
The link?
location.
Let me see.
Just send it to him.
He's got the link, bro.
Whatever.
This
Just
is his
send it to him.
platform. Hop in. I'll send it to him over iMessage.
There you go.
But also, bro, that was a good show the other day with Brendan Schaub.
Oh man, that was so awesome, bro. He's worked
was
so hard for that. I was so
I
happy
didn't even
for
know
him.
that was happening, bro. I just saw it said that the show was live, and I was like working, and I go, "Oh, let me click onto it." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, this guy's with Brendan Schaub." I was like, "That was
Yeah,
sick."
then Brendan was giving us his flowers, man. Dave works hard at his craft. I'm proud of him. He's really good.
Oh no, for sure. What's it called? Dang, that's crazy. Breaking news. I'm gonna have to pull that up. Real quick before we hop into that breaking news, let's talk about Jaron Ennis's performance, bro. Did you watch this fight?
No, I won't lie to the
Oh,
people.
you're tripping.
I
Were
did
you
not.
watching the UFC? I have my phone like this, and I was watching it.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
like, bro,
100%.
Ennis is cooking him.
I jumped in. I jumped hard into the UFC the past couple fight nights. I'm not
It
gonna
was
lie.
a great. I can't even blame you, bro. It was a great card. Yeah, it was definitely a stacked, good card, exciting fights. But yeah, I had the zone up, and I was watching it like this, and I was like, dude, Jonas is just cooking him. And then, ironically enough, I was like actually like really paying attention in the 6th round when he stopped him, and I was like, dude, he's cooking this guy. And then he dropped him, and then that's when I had like went to the bathroom, so I was like watching it like this. And I was in between the corner. I'll be like, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if they stop it right now, like based off his body language, Stanish's body language. And then they were like, "Yeah, we're done." I was like, "Okay, I'm not shocked." Jaron Ennis, bro, super good. What I don't like these talks of where they're like, where Eddie Hearn's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do one more fight, and then we're gonna move him up to 54." Bro, welterweight is wide open for the taking, and 54 is gonna be there. I mean, he's huge.
Whatever he wants at 54 is going to be there. Why not to clear out the division? Clear out the whole division in 147 and build it.
Unless it's like a you can't make weight type of thing, but it's like he just made the weight, so it's like, and he looked that good, so it's not that you can't make the weight. You just got to get these fights somehow. You got to get the Brian Norman deal done. Which I heard the post-fight press conference, they were saying that this guy was just absolutely like pricing himself out.
Yeah.
Brian Norman Jr. fought for like $100,000, and then he got offered like $2 million to fight Jaron Ennis, and tried to turn it down. I go, that's insane, bro. And for the WBO title, who cares about the WBO title? Freaking, and he just fought on the undercard of like Michaela Mayer versus Sandy Ryan too. brother, come on now, fight Ennis. That's one of those things where it's like, don't try to hold on to this title. Don't try to hold on to your O. Take the payday, go out there, fight Ennis, and then even if you lose, put on a good fight, and people are going to respect you, and they're going to want to see you fight again. You know what I mean? I'm hearing rumors. A great example is I'm hearing rumors of Diego Pacheco is going to fight Trevor McCumbee. Guess what? I'm watching that fight.
Oh yeah,
brother.
Oh yeah,
Diego Pacheco. I'm like, when he fights, I'm like, okay, I'll tune in, I'll watch it. But I've always been kind of like, they're still building them, whatever. I'm not like on the hype train like that.
Yeah.
Trevor McCumbee, I want to see Trevor McCumbee fight again.
I do,
because even though he lost the plant, he put on his stock went up. So I'm down for that fight. Let me see that fight. And
I'm down too. That's a good one.
it's almost kind of like what SG was saying about the whole like UFC model. It's in UFC, what we like about it is, for example, Diego Lopez lost, bro. Diego Lopez like put on that was a great fight from him. So I don't think his stock drops. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
So yeah,
I
it's
agree.
just another example of that. But for Jaron Ennis, like you got to get that Brian Norman deal. You got to get the what's it called? You have to get the Mario Barrios deal, and then if you win undisputed, bro, then move up to 154 because 154, bro, our guy Bakram Mutsaraliev that we saw in person
Yeah.
absolutely demolished Tim Tszyu. Dude, me and you were looking at each other like
Whoa,
we did not think that fight was going to go that way.
not at
Um,
all.
you got Virgil Ortiz as the interim title. He's a killer, and that was a fight that was already like booked previously, 2 years ago, and ended up falling out. But I'm not in a rush to have that rebooked. Who else is the title holder? What's his face?
I've been hearing about Tim Tszyu versus Earl Spence.
Dude, Earl Spence ain't fighting. No, I've heard
Yeah.
about Tim. They're trying to rebook Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I heard Keith Thurman was trying to use a old school tactic, like, "Hey, I sent the contract. Sign it. Sign it. Sign it." He's trying to get it so Tim Tszyu doesn't get a chance to get a bigger fight because Keith Thurman is not like necessarily the largest name right now, in the industry.
For sure,
Even
but
though
at least he got a comeback win.
yeah.
Because
No,
before,
no, I agree.
they had that fight signed, and that was the whole reason why he fought Slenderman, was
Yeah.
because Keith Thurman pulled out, which was the beginning of the end. And then now Keith Thurman's coming off of a win. He's got a good win. That was a good performance. Looked like kind of the Keith of old. And then Tim Tszyu, I don't know if you just saw him fight Joey Spencer.
Yeah.
That was a shame, bro. Dude, I watched that.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, Joey, how are you gonna fly you and your team all the way to Australia, and then it looked like he was fighting for a bit, and then it looked like he didn't even try.
Yeah.
So that was a shame. But like the whole
Well,
point is the 154 right now, there are sharks in the water, and
agreed.
Jaron Ennis has the opportunity to really take over welterweight and then move with a ton of leverage at 154.
I also heard, all these little extra websites put up some stuff and everything like that. I've been reading the little things, but I heard there's talks that maybe Jaron Ennis and Teofimo Lopez.
Wouldn't be surprised if
I mean,
Teofimo
because
moves up to
Theo
147.
could move up. Theo can move up to 147 and still fill that out perfectly fine. I think. I don't think he's that small to where he can't do that.
No, for sure. He's been talking about going up to 147. So
Yeah.
why not?
And that would be if you can't get the Crawford fight. He's been out, trying to say that he'll take the Crawford fight if Canelo won't, and all that kind of stuff before. So if you can't get the Crawford fight, wouldn't Jaron Ennis be the next biggest thing for you? Actually, at your weight category, around that weight category that you would go to, he would be the next biggest fight, I would think.
I would think so. You know what I mean?
So I mean, that's a great angle to go try and get that. I mean, that would be a huge fight for Ennis too. Like to have that name. Wouldn't you dial in for that? I would.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just one of those where, okay, now I'm seeing it right here. Hold on a second, because I was looking for where this news was even coming from that Dave was
For
talking
this one
about.
right here. Okay.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Bro, this is one where people are still going to try and hate and be like, oh, because I mean, I get it. Chavez Jr.'s washed. We all know that. He lost to Anderson Silva, which Anderson Silva was good. He was a good boxer. I don't care what people say.
Oh no, I agree. And if you put
but
Anderson Silva in his 30s to start boxing instead of in his 40s, he actually wins the title.
probably, bro. Probably. If he hones in on the craft, he
If
might
he
take
stopped worried about the
a
kicks, you
couple-
know what I mean? If he took the kicking out and went straight to boxing from MMA, he would have. I think he
might
would have
take
won
a
a title.
loss here and there, but if him winning a world title is not out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. I would probably bet that, he would.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Chavez Jr. is a former world champion. So
Yeah.
if Jake Paul has a former world champion on his, when they're talking about, oh, you need to fight a real boxer. Okay, well, he fought 2 boxers back to back, but that wasn't good enough for people. I get it. It's more of kind of like a little bit of a cherry picked opponent, but guess what? Everyone in their 9th fight has a cherry picked opponent,
Agreed.
unless you're coming from European deep amateur background, right? Um, so yeah, I think this is a great fight for Jake Paul, and I think he wins.
I hate to agree with you, but I do.
I think he beats Chavez Jr. But it has
But
the
the whole
potential to
biggest
be
thing
a
is
good
is it
fight.
gonna be is it gonna be 8 rounds, or is he finally gonna get to 10 rounds?
Jake's fought 10 rounds
With who?
with Nate Diaz. That was a 10 rounder, bro.
Oh wow, okay.
Which
Okay.
that's another thing that's like, people want to hate on Jake Paul, but bro, like that was his like 7th fight, and he's fighting a
Yeah,
10
he went 10
rounder.
rounds. Yeah, okay.
Bro, in his 4th round, he went 8 with Tyron Woodley. How many people go in 8 rounds in their 4th fight?
Tyrone Woodley's pace is not the pace of a boxer, though.
No,
Nate
for
Diaz,
sure.
at least Nate Diaz throws punches at you, even if he's fucking around sometimes. He's
Instead of
throwing
the
punches at
frozen
you.
one. Um,
Tyrone Woodley is the frozen one. If he sat there for 4 minutes in an MMA fight, he'll sit there for 2 minutes and 45 seconds in a boxing round. You
yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
I guess to my point, I know
No,
guys I know guys right now with 9 fights that have yet to fight a 6-rounder
no, I'm not arguing the
with
fact.
winning
You're right
records.
about that. I give him his
You know what I
props. I give
mean?
him his props for 10 rounds with Nate Diaz because that's a volume puncher, and I'm not going to knock that in any way. That's long. That's long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Even just practicing 10 rounds, 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Even if you're giving yourself a 30, a minute rest, where a lot of teams do 45 seconds to 30 seconds. I mean, you're doing 10 rounds like that. That respect. Even if you're never gonna fight real for real, you're doing that. That's respect.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
for
lot of
sure.
that's a lot of energy, bro. If nobody's ever done it, y'all don't know how hard that shit is. That shit's
Oh,
hard.
it's super difficult. So this is massive. Where are they gonna fight? Does it say?
Puerto Rico.
In a cruiserweight bout, dude, if they fight in Puerto Rico, I'm there.
You're gonna buy me a ticket too, and I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you.
He fought on Paul's undercard in July. Yeah, no, he did fight in July on the undercard. I was there in Tampa also. Dude, I've been to, I've been to all this guy's fights.
We need to go. We need to go to. If it's in Tampa, I'll go with you.
No, for sure, 100%. If it's in Puerto Rico, I'm there too. Even though they just had a massive power outage across the whole island. But
Oh no.
I'll make another exception to go because I'm going in June. But I'll have to add another date to the calendar to go. But man, all right, so that's good news. We were talking about Teofimo. He's got a fight coming up. I kind of want to go through these real quick because as they come up, we'll talk about them a little bit more into detail. But obviously, everyone's favorite fighter has a fight coming up.
Who is this dude? Who the fuck is that?
Well, he's an undefeated fighter.
No, he's not. I'm pretty sure I saw this guy get knocked out. I'm pretty sure I saw him get knocked out.
Nah, you never saw it. His dad erased it from the history
Oh,
book.
really? I also saw a guy that was at a fair take a punch from this dude. I don't know that. I don't think this dude punched very hard, bro. I don't. Are you sure? Like, who is this dude?
Let me ask you this, bro. Actually, this is what I want to talk about. This is the angle I want to take this. I am not happy with Turkey Al-Sheikh right now.
Did he give this man a deal?
No, bro. Here's the thing. We got rug pulled right now because all of this talk about, oh, we're gonna make pay-per-views $25, and now they're doing the Friday card with him, Ryan, Teofimo, and then the next day is the card with Canelo. They're doing both of those as pay-per-views, and it's in a bundle package where if you buy both of them, you get them for the great price of $90
The fuck out of here.
for both fights together. dude. Okay, so that makes them both $45. That's not 25.
25. Not 25.
Also, brother, I don't know that Canelo versus William Skull is worth $45 anyways.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, so it's like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? Like, is it because you guys had to overpay Canelo to get him from fighting Jake Paul?
Yeah,
Is
of course.
is that what's going on? Like, is that what's going on? So I don't know. I'm not very happy about that at all. But guess what?
I'm pretty sure I will find somewhere to watch this, and I will let you know.
I will find somewhere to watch it as well because I'm taking a stance. They're not getting my money. And I was actually so upset earlier. I was taking a shower. I was so upset thinking about this, and I go, I might even just cancel my DAZN subscription too because
I
I'm
already
upset
did.
about that.
I already did.
This is
I've had it for the past 4 months, and I canceled it already. I was like, nah, I'm
number
done.
one bullshit, brother.
Number one
bullshit. If you told me
Bullshit.
that both fights back to back each day was $25, I would go, all right, a Friday and a Saturday with solid boxing, I'll pay the $50, whatever.
Yeah.
At $90,
I agree.
dude,
I agree.
you taking
Yo.
the piss, mate.
In the words of Big Sean, a big Detroit Lions fan, I ain't fucking with you.
Precisely.
Oh, stupid ass. I ain't.
That's the
You,
part
you
you edit
feel
out.
me. You feel me.
And then on top of that, bro, here's the thing. These are all fights that nobody asked for.
Exactly.
Teofimo versus Barbosa Jr., sure. The thing about Teofimo, though, is he's so inconsistent. Like, if he has somebody that's really good in front of him, he turns into the best boxer of all time. If not, it's like, I was like, he doesn't even come in with a game plan.
He's the most average boxer of all time after that.
Exactly. He has no game plan, doesn't cut off the ring. You're like, what am I watching? Seen it live. I was like, I can't believe this.
Kambosos beat him. Let's go.
Garcia should be fighting Haney in the rematch. The fact that they're doing this setup thing is, I want to use a word that's not politically correct, so I'm not going to say it.
Good job. Proud of you.
I'm not going to say what kind of doctor it was. But literally, bro, like, nobody asked for Ryan versus Rolly. I'm down for that fight. Nobody asked for it. And certainly
no, but at least that's a fight that we could get excited about because it's firework.
I'm down for the fight for sure, 100%. Yeah. But the rematch with Haney is better.
Yeah.
And nobody asked for Haney versus Ramirez. The other thing too is Haney shot? I don't know that he beats Ramirez.
I'm hoping he doesn't. What are you talking about?
I hope that he squeezes by on the hair of his chinny chin.
Stop it. Why are you ruining it all for this?
Because I want to see him get whooped again by Ryan Garcia.
Well, that's fine. What about this?
Get whooped again by Ryan Garcia.
I would rather this happen. I would rather Rolly and Ryan go to a decision. Devin Haney squeak by homeboy. Ryan Garcia beats Rolly in a decision, and then Rolly and Devin Haney have to fight. And Rolly just obliterates this fucker.
I want
because
Ryan
it would be more
it
would be more embarrassing to lose to Rolly than it would be to Ryan again.
I want him to rematch Ryan, and I want Ryan to put the thumps on him even worse than in the first fight. Bro,
I get it, but
Ryan
we've
right now.
Watched it.
No, but it's gonna be worse, bro. As in, it's gonna be better.
Like the first 3 rounds, are we talking?
Dude, so Ryan, I'm looking at his training footage and comparing it to their first fight. Ryan wasn't even training. Like, you could tell Derek James is just standing there kind of like, are we serious?
What are you talking about? What are you talking?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Bro, he was all over the place. Now, dude, this kid looks dialed in. If he does that, beats Rolly, knocks out Rolly, and then goes into the Haney rematch dialed in, he's gonna hurt Devin Haney bad.
I feel you.
And Devin Haney deserves every bit of that beating that Ryan Garcia is gonna put on him.
You're so right. I mean, you're 100% right. You're right.
He deserves every.
No, you're right. I'm rooting for that. I changed my mind. I'm rooting for that. 100%. I agree.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully they can get this over with and then get that going by like give it to us in like August, bro. Don't make us wait until like December. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah.
Bro, this fight should have already happened. It's been a year since the first one. Just make it happen. You know what I mean? This is ridiculous. Haney, they're over here. Ryan's got a suspension, and Haney still hasn't even fought. So I don't know. Haney's a dork. That's all I can say. Other than that, we got Canelo fighting. Like I said, it's another fight nobody asked for. I get it. I'm not like one of these guys that's like upset about it because obviously he has to win that IBF back because IBF is the worst sanctioning body out there.
Why does he have to win it back? Why?
Because IBF
Somebody tell me why.
IBF has to do what IBF has to do.
No, they don't. Stop it. No, they don't. I don't agree with you in any wholeheartedly way because
No,
there's
I
too
mean
many
they
games.
have to do what they have to do as in just be the IBF, which I don't agree with. And
What I'm saying is Canelo could just go fight someone else that's like a real fight for him at 168 and literally just say, hey, the IBF is up for the title for that.
But IBF isn't. They're just
Because who the hell is William Skull?
I'll tell you what though, Canelo does need to take this fight seriously because William Skull isn't like a Avni Yildirim. You know what I mean? When he fought Yildirim and he just like put an extra date on the calendar, and then
So you're saying he's a little bit better than Avin, whatever the dude's name is?
I think well, here's one thing. He's Cuban.
Okay. I respect that.
You know what I mean?
For the legacy part of it, I respect that.
Cubans are good boxers. So
Yeah,
he needs
I agree.
to if Canelo just comes in thinking he's gonna walk through this guy and this guy goes in there and puts on the game plan and the career best performance, he could outbox him in a way. And that's the thing too. If Canelo just does this thing where he walks forward, William Skull goes pop, 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 move, pop, 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 move. You know what I mean? Dodges the shots, gets on his bike. He could win a decision and beat Canelo. It's possible. So Canelo needs to be on his P's and Q's with this guy. Go out there.
I understand where you're coming from with that. I just don't think Canelo won't adapt in the middle of a fight. I just don't believe that. I agree with you in the first 4 rounds of the fight that could happen for a William Skull. But on a longer fight, since this is obviously a title fight, it's going to go 12 rounds. There's no way in my eyes that after 4 that Canelo, that Eddie Reynoso or whoever it is, or Canelo just on his sheer willpower will not go, oh, fuck this. No, I'm going to change. I'm going to go after this guy. And that's going to be that. If he's going to lose to someone, he's losing to someone like a Plant, a David Benavidez, a Bivol, someone in the upper echelon. And the only reason Plant comes out of my mouth is because he's just proven the toughness that he has. But like all of those upper echelon fighters like that, that's when I feel like Canelo can have a chance at losing or getting complacent or just getting whatever it is. I don't feel like he would ever let the lower caliber dude win because of being too relaxed or being too complacent or just letting that man do that simple game plan of pop, 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 move, pop, 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 move, pop, 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 move, and then continue to walk forward. I mean, your point is absolutely right. If he does that, William Skull can win. You're right. I just don't believe in 51 out of the 52 multiverses that are in here that we have from the DC universe. Let's go there. I don't believe that it's 51 out of 52 that Canelo is going to do the right thing to beat the shit out of this man.
Would it be technically 53 though? Because there's Earth 0.
Is it 0 to 52? If we count that, then you're right. If it's 1 to 52, then no. So if there's an Earth 0, then the 52, that's actually 53 multiverses. So you would be right, yes, sir. So 52 out of the 53 is Canelo wins that shit every time.
Oh, check this out.
Oh,
it's nice, bro.
Where'd you get that? Oh,
These come in the mail. This is the new Ring
Oh.
magazine,
oh, that's dope. I love the
bro.
covers.
These are thick too. They're like books.
Oh,
Yeah, dude,
that's
they're
how they
nice,
come now?
bro. They're nice. They're
Yo.
legit like books, bro.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to check. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
What's
solid.
that? What's that subscription run?
Dude, I don't know because I had seen it. I was gonna sign up for it at first, and then it was saying like there were like I don't even know how much an issue, maybe like $7 an issue, and then the shipping was like another $8 per issue, and I was like, absolutely not. That's insane. You know what I mean? So the annual subscription was gonna be like $150. I was like, no, dude. And then I saw something online where it was like, I think it was an ad where it was like, oh, get your subscription. And then when I clicked through it all the way to checkout, it wasn't charging me the extra for the shipping. And I was like, let me sign up right now. So
Oh,
I think it's maybe like 70 a year or something
that's great. That's
or-
fantastic for that quality.
bro, the quality's nice, man. They have a lot
No,
of
that's like a graphic novel.
right? Legit. And they have a bunch
That's
of stuff.
dope.
They publish, look at that. That's full spreads of full page spreads, I should say, pause, of freaking what's it called? And then they have the whole like this one's about the Chris Eubank versus what's up, Pooch? They do a whole thing about Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank.
That's
Which
dope.
that fight we haven't even touched up on. We're gonna have to touch up on that like next week because that's coming
Yeah.
up, bro. Connor Ben versus Chris Eubank Jr. That when they first announced the fight back like 2 years ago, I was kind of like, this is a money grab fight. Now I'm all in. I'm all in for
Yeah.
this fight. I'm excited for this fight. I am down for this fight. I'm hyped for it. I'm down. So we'll have to do a more in-depth breakdown. But
Yeah.
and then obviously once the week after, we're gonna have, I guess that's next week. So next week's show we could hop on that. And then the week after, we got the whole doubleheader with these guys.
Yeah.
Danny Garcia, all of them, Times Square, Canelo. We could go more of a deep dive on that. But other than that, man, I feel like we kind of touched up on a lot that we missed. And anything else, and then with breaking news, like we said, breaking news from Fight Bananas themselves: Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in July. The guy's gonna finally fight. Oh, speaking of the devil, and he shall appear.
Oh,
Dave,
there he is. There
Dave.
he is.
Take it away. Break the news.
What's up, man? Hey, Jake Paul, July,
brother. Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Do we know if it's a title fight?
And then we got the man himself, Dean Poole.
Oh,
Or Dean Poole.
Dean Poole.
Dean.
Dean Poole.
Deadpool's brother. What's up, Dean? How's it going?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, brother?
Are you here to
Best
break
backdrop
the
ever? I like that backdrop.
solid, right?
Yeah,
I like yours. Look at yours.
I need that.
It's clean with all
Not
the
too
belts.
bad, brother.
That's Roy Jones Jr.'s cruiserweight WBU World Championship. Huh?
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Not too
amazing.
bad, brother. You here to break the Jake Paul news?
I knew that last week. You know.
Oh, what do we got?
Of
We got
course
Island
you did.
fights.
Yeah, Island Fights is tomorrow. Off the Hook
Okay.
Box is May 3rd.
May 3rd. We got Devin. Who's Devin facing again?
Fuck.
May
He's
3rd.
he's fighting Julian Aristuel or something like that.
All right. I'm gonna have the prettiest jab on boxing in boxing will be on display that night.
Yeah, and I just
And that's May 3rd, you said?
yeah, Saturday, May 3rd is the first Off the Hook boxing show. It's such a short
That's
term.
awesome.
It was like the only date. Our next date is August 16th. That'll be like a bigger card. But
Where you guys doing that one at?
Biloxi.
Okay, Biloxi, Mississippi.
You
And then the
coming
island
through, Ray?
Island
what
is
on that one?
Pensacola.
Sorry, guys, you won't find me in Mississippi. I'll be.
my
What? Hey,
goodness.
bro. Biloxi's pretty cool, bro. Biloxi's cool.
Hey, I'll take your word for it.
Have you been to Biloxi before?
Never have I ever.
All right, this is coming from a Vegas connoisseur as myself. Biloxi is incredible.
Incredible.
It's like a mini Las Vegas. It's nothing but casinos. Like it's not like what you're thinking of Mississippi. You know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, no, I love.
How do you know
Biloxi.
what I'm thinking of Mississippi? you know what I'm thinking. No, for sure. But yeah, no. I'll have to. What'd you say that was May 3rd?
Yeah, Saturday, May 3rd, and then the next one's August 16th.
Okay. And then where are you guys doing the you said Off the Hook?
Yeah, that's Off the Hook. May 3rd and August 16th. Island Fights is tomorrow night and June 27th. And then
Island Fights is where? Pensacola?
Yeah.
Solid.
Tomorrow at the Base Center.
All right. Island Fights. Who we got headlining Island Fights tomorrow?
These two boys right here.
our
Sutton
current
and
champion,
Cornette.
Jeff Sutton and Cornette.
This kid right here, Hefner, stud.
Is that the kid that was from the weigh-ins today that looks like he should be in a computer science class?
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
That's a bad boy.
bro, that's what I was saying. He had the belt, right?
Yes, yeah.
I was like, bro, this kid is
This
fighting.
kid's a bad
The guy he's
boy.
fighting looked like he just came out of prison.
Yeah.
But
He actually did. We talked to him. Pearl Gonzalez and I talked to him. He's from Guam. He's been in America for a couple years. He's had a tough patch, but mixed martial arts saved his life, Ray.
good.
We'll hear that story tomorrow night at Island Fights 88.
Tremendous. Nice. Solid. But no, definitely. I'm gonna be at the PFL tomorrow.
Sweet.
I'm going over to PFL.
What? Yeah,
Heck
Fight
yeah.
Bananas is there. Oh, we got like 9 media passes. You hanging in the media room?
I'm going on a double date. Wifey, my boy, he's bringing his wife, so I had to do like a double date type thing. If not, I would just be like, all right, what's going on? You're not gonna be there, Dave? You're going to Island Fights?
No, Island Fights is way more important than the PFL. All right.
No, for sure. You're doing the commentary.
Yeah.
Solid. There you go, brother. Who from Fight Bananas is gonna be at PFL?
L. Dawson, Jonathan Ramakan,
Solid.
and Eddie Martinez is on the 1s and 2s shooting shots, man.
Nice. Solid. You know what, dude? I haven't been to Pensacola since I was a kid.
Why not?
Yeah.
Good question, bro. I'm going like everywhere else.
What did you go to Pensacola for as a kid?
I don't know. Just they wanted to take pictures of my red hair by the water.
So you didn't go an hour and a half further to
I
Biloxi?
don't know. They just drive me around freaking everywhere. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, dude. One time we went to where was it? Birmingham, Alabama. We drove there once for Wilder fight, and then what's it called? My boy Robbie fought on the undercard, and I think that's where I'm thinking like Mississippi might be like Birmingham.
No, it's not.
No.
Because somebody told me was
No.
like, oh, how was Birmingham? I go, dude, all they had was a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking. But this is like the Beau Rivage there is like the sister casino to the Bellagio. The Hard Rock.
Oh, is
brand
it?
new Hard Rock Casino? Like they
Huge
have
sports
the
book.
Golden Nugget, Harrah's.
Yeah.
Oh, Biloxi's on the water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Ray. I'm telling you, you have no idea. John, I heard you over talking about the Brendan Schaub thing. Brendan Schaub's been all over the world. He literally said the best food he's ever had was in Biloxi, Mississippi, Mary Mahoney's. They literally gave food to Oprah. 14 presidents have ate at this place. It's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
He's got a little
Yeah.
snack card next to him. He's reading off of right now.
I'm looking at the yeah, right.
I don't have nothing.
Can you say those presidents' names?
Name them all.
Donald Trump. Twice.
That counts for two.
I got this too. Bill Clinton.
No, we actually love doing the fights there. It's
We love
fun,
it.
man. especially when you stay in the casino and everybody's in the same building.
Oh.
It's a cool vibe.
Right. All you need to know is that in the casinos, they have a vending machine that serves essentially Crystals and White Castle. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, bro.
Look at this.
Ooh. It's not looking bad.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a beach and a casino, Ray. What do you?
Well, I don't gamble and I'm a ginger, bro.
Well, you can always start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's that?
Change your habit.
Is Dave.
No, but you don't have to gamble. But there's like really good restaurants in all the casinos. It's literally it's like a mini Las Vegas. It's like a tiny
No,
little
that's solid.
Las Vegas. It's cool. You would actually like it. You would like it.
Solid, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to make a stop by. I'll have to put it on the calendar.
All right.
For
You
sure.
guys might have convinced me, just possibly.
Where do you guys think the Jake Paul fight?
Now, if you told us
location
to go to
could
Birmingham to go
No,
watch
dude,
the
I would be,
Deontay Wilder fight, I'd probably be like, catch you next time.
bro. The Cracker Barrel wasn't that good. I'll tell you that.
No.
be? Boys, real quick. Where do you think the Jake Paul fight's going to be? Where's the location?
I
Uh,
hope it's in San Juan, Puerto Rico, because I'm booking a flight.
It's 100% in Texas.
You think
Oh,
so?
wow.
He's not going to fight a Mexican anywhere else besides Texas.
Yeah, you're right.
There you go.
And especially when, any like true boxing aficionado knows what's probably going to happen in that fight. But the whole world will be fooled that this man went to a decision with Canelo Alvarez, and he's got 40.
Yeah,
I
the
think
casual fans are gonna not remember that.
no one knows he lost to Anderson Silva. Like no one in the world even knows that fight even happened.
I know people didn't know that existed.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. But it's a guy with an incredible record, and it's just filler until he fights somebody like a huge fight, which I think he's going to get.
Where do you think? So we're in Texas. You think Dallas,
It'll either be Dallas,
San Antonio?
or just Dallas or San Antonio. I think those.
Okay.
Are
I can see that. I can see the Alamo Dome. I can see the Alamo Dome.
And then
San
I think
Antonio,
they did.
right?
Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. They're familiar with the venue. They did. I think American Airlines or something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
When he fought, I went to that fight. That was in.
That was in Dallas, or that was in
Yeah.
San Antonio?
No, that was in Dallas.
Dallas.
I went
It's
to
where the
Dallas.
Mavericks play.
Okay. Yeah. As long as it's not in Houston. I went to Houston like 2 weekends ago. Bro, I don't know if the rest of Texas is like this. Every single road looked like Ukraine. It was terrible.
You're making fun of. You're killing Houston and not giving Biloxi. You go to Houston, right?
It was for business, but bro, every single road was so bad. It was horrible. It was the worst. I was like, I need to get out of the city.
Houston has good food though.
Bro, we went to this one place. It was like Papa's Steak, because they have all these like Papa's restaurants.
Yeah.
The Papa's Steak one, that was like the Michelin restaurant. Brother, it was one of the best places I've been to.
They
It
have
was
like
phenomenal.
a Viet Cajun, like it's like the mecca of that there.
Yeah, I wanted to check out some of it. I didn't get any barbecue, but no, the food was the best thing about Houston by far. Other than that, I was like, this place kind of sucks. But I still gotta go to San Antonio. Heard San Antonio's good. I heard Dallas is good.
I have
San Antonio had the best. San Antonio had the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life.
Whoa. Me and
There we
D might
go.
go to Mexican tonight.
Oh yeah?
Maybe.
Where you guys at? You're in Pensacola right now?
I don't know.
Nah.
He's gotta keep it on the
He's
keep it on
about
the down low.
about 8 feet away from me.
Oh, nice. They're gonna hop on the side by side.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
Nah.
Great. Hey, don't worry, Dave. I'm holding it down in Port Orange over here for you.
I appreciate it, man. I
You know how
appreciate
we
it.
do.
This is nice setup, dude. Dean's got a setup. He's got like 4 lights around. This thing looks nice, man.
4 lights around where?
This is a nice.
What's that? That's your office?
Yeah, that's my actual computer though. But, you know.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad setup. I'll say that.
Dave, were you sitting in the war room? Is that where you were at?
Yeah, I was in the war room, man.
Yeah, I thought so.
What you got?
That's some horrible ball.
Yeah. If they don't sponsor us, it's not good.
They sponsored our Game Bread event in Fort Lauderdale. Jose Cuervo
Oh, nice.
brought us a shit tons of it. Don't drink Jose Cuervo, but
When's the next Game Bread event?
working on it now. We're on our Series A. We're like fundraising, so
Okay.
we just don't want to do any more one-offs. So our proof of concept is there, our ratings, our viewership, everything. We know everything is completely solid. We just, as soon as we're done with the raise, which we're almost done with, we'll announce our entire schedule for the rest of the year instead of like one-off and then not everybody knowing when the next event is. It's just not fair to.
Is this for the MMA, like the bare knuckle MMA,
knuckle
or the
MMA.
Game Bread boxing?
That's bare knuckle MMA.
Okay, I went to the one in Jacksonville. That one was solid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. I saw Dave down there, but I was like too far away. I wasn't gonna be like, Dave.
I think Orlando was like the greatest.
Orlando is
show
the
ever.
best show.
Yeah, Orlando was awesome.
The Kia Center. That was
Yeah,
good.
that was dope. That was
The
dope.
ViStar Jacksonville was awesome. It's just kind of a weird market. Like I don't know how. Like I don't know.
Not a lot of walk around either.
Yeah, and like the beach is
Yeah, it's not.
an hour.
Yeah,
away
there's not
downtown.
really like a vibe around there, around the arena.
Orlando
Like the beach is
Amazing.
pretty cool, the beach area, but it's from downtown Jacksonville.
took us
It's
45 minutes, an
45
hour.
minutes or an
Yeah,
hour.
it's not convenient. Yeah, you might as well drive to Coco.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that one little bar that's next to the ViStar, there's not really much going around. And then if you kind of walk a little too far, you're like looking over your shoulder.
Yep.
It's not the best area compared to the Kia Center. You just go under the overpass and you got everything right there.
Headlights right
Everything was there, and it was just such a good market. I think like anybody from Jacksonville that
Good
wanted to
fight
come,
market, yeah.
it's not far away. Tampa is right 45 minutes away, whatever. Miami, everybody came from Miami. Like everybody was 2 hours away, like tops. You know, even Pensacola, it's 5.5 hours, whatever. But a lot of people came, so you get like
Solid.
everybody migrate. Like that's probably gonna be our like number one favorite market to go to.
Okay. Is that where you guys are aiming for the next event, or
Yeah,
is
I
that
think
to be
that'll-
determined?
That'll be our first one for sure.
Solid. Okay.
So it'll be,
Dope.
it should be Orlando, LA, Miami, and Denver.
Damn.
Nice.
That'll be solid. That'll definitely be good.
That's a good little schedule.
I'll definitely be more inclined for the Orlando show. But Biloxi, I'm right, almost right over the edge. You almost got
I mean,
me.
if you don't gamble, it's probably not like the coolest thing to want to go to Biloxi because there's casinos. But I'm just saying it's like a cool little.
It is. I'm telling you.
People don't have no idea. It's like a mini Vegas. But if you don't gamble, it's kind of like
I just
you
spent
can eat
last
good
month.
restaurants anywhere. You know.
Last month I spent a week in Vegas, and I was like ready to get out of there because I don't really gamble either. You know, so
My favorite
it was.
in the world, but not
Yeah.
just because of gambling, but because
the
of the food. It's the best
food in Vegas.
The food is solid. Yeah, I had to be careful. I'm trying to visit John's gym so I could lose weight, and then I'm going to Vegas,
Okay.
eating all the nice food over there. I'm like,
They got great gyms in Vegas too. There's so many boxing gyms in Vegas also. Like everywhere you can train, but it's like, man, from like mom and pop restaurants to Michelin star restaurants, it's the best ever. Like every chef in the world has a restaurant there. You know.
no, it's solid for sure.
I was there for the Masvidal Diaz camp. I was literally there for 6.5 months.
Oh, nice.
Weather is very weird.
John went out there to
But-
Vegas.
Oh, yeah, you guys.
John was out there.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
What were
man.
y'all?
Yeah.
Where
If
did
you go in that room, you probably to stay longer than 6 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do laps in that place.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
y'all went out for one of the fights, right?
Yeah, the Canelo.
Canelo
Oh.
Berlanga, Plant Macumbi.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, bro! You should have told me. You should have borrowed my hat.
Penthouse, Resort World.
That was insane. Insane.
We Ray, we can make a trip out to Biloxi, bro. It'll be all right. I'll make you go out there. It's cool. It's a great place. You'll have fun.
I'm
Hey,
sure.
May 3rd, man. Great fights.
May 3rd.
Christian is
I'll-
Sarah on the card.
Yeah. About to
Ooh,
announce this.
save
I'll
it.
I'll ask my wife. We'll see what she says.
Undefeated.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Chase Sherman's boxing.
Yeah. All right.
Pro boxing debut.
Okay.
Is
Some
his
of
pro?
these MMA
It's his
guys
pro
are-
boxing debut.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I would
He
have
did
thought that.
BKFC. He was a BKFC heavyweight champ, but he's never had a pro boxing match. So a lot of
Okay.
these
Oh,
guys.
wow.
Because I know he's had a ton of fights. I would have thought that he would have, slipped a pro boxing fight in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just a lot of guys are. When we announced Off the Hook, like everybody hit me up, and I think because TKO Boxing is going to be launching, I think a lot of guys they're just trying to get a little head start because I know they're probably not looking for MMA guys to go on their cards, but if they can get a head start, especially a heavyweight, and gets to 5-0 or 10-0, like they can be very useful, and they can make some money at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now you are a boxer.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to, look at Tyrone Spong. Tyrone Spong he was rated number 2 in the world by the WBO at one point. He's only 14-0, and he's a kickboxing world champion. But he was supposed to fight Usyk.
That was crazy. I
supposed
couldn't
to
believe
fight-
that.
Supposed to fight Andy Ruiz, like all these big fights, And he's back now. He's boxing, so he's about to do a 3. Well, I don't know if I can announce that, but he's doing.
I think I saw he was.
No, he
doing
announced
something.
he announced a boxing fight. He announced one. Whatever
He's
one his
still
next one is, he announced that already.
He's fighting Karate Combat heavyweight title. May
That's
7th.
That's what it is. Okay, that's what he
Yeah.
announced. That's what he
In
announced.
Dubai.
That's what he announced.
But he's also back in boxing, so he has like 3 fights scheduled, and the 3rd fight is going to be a massive fight, like
Okay.
Solid.
like headline,
Oh, yeah.
like major arena in England.
I saw.
Hell
Bro, Chase had that solid rematch with Alex.
Oh,
That was,
that was-
we were
that
just
was
talking
in
about that
Orlando.
today. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
that
that
was
was
crazy.
crazy. I was
That
like,
was-
damn.
yeah, they're both like buddies of mine. That was just horrible to watch.
I know. I
You
bet.
can't, like that was just crazy. Yeah,
You
I
knew
would-
it could happen one way or the other.
Yeah.
Someone was going unconscious.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and they're buddies, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do. That's what you do for a paycheck, right?
Yep.
Beat up
All
your
right,
buddy.
guys. We got to go get some Mexican food. May 3rd, Off the Hook Boxing Series, Biloxi, Mississippi. Be there or be square.
Let's go.
That's a promo right there.
That's right. Cut
For
it.
sure.
Fights
Well, all right,
tomorrow.
guys. I
Island Fights
appreciate
tomorrow
you.
night.
And Island Fights tomorrow night. Make sure y'all check it out. I appreciate you guys hopping on.
Absolutely. Thank you,
We'll
fellas.
catch you later. And anytime you guys want to hop on, you know what I mean? You got the keys to the castle.
Always. Always.
Later,
Appreciate
boys.
you guys. Later, man.
All right.
Thank you,
Peace.
guys.
All right, brother. I think we can.
Wow. We had El Presidente and El Presidente Presidente.
I know, bro. We had the cameo of cameos tonight.
No, for real. For real.
So solid.
Wow.
But
Hell yeah.
let me see. SG had said something real quick. I want to get to that. Would it even be a problem if Jake Paul started fighting and even winning against legit boxers? We love to hate him, but he's doing things for boxing. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He's doing a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff for boxing. So, we'll see what happens. Texas, I don't know if I'll be going to that one, but if it's in Tampa again, or obviously Orlando again, but I doubt it. If it's in Puerto Rico, I'm definitely there. 100%. I need to choose.
Absolutely. There you
But,
go.
all right, brother. I guess we'll wrap it up there. And then
Hell yeah.
until next time, guys, get ready. We'll have another show next week.
All right. Hell yeah, brother. You let me know what time, what place, and we'll do it. Either Tuesday or Thursday, fellas. We'll see you.
Perfect. All right. Until next time.
Are you ready for the main event?
2 hits. They hitting you, you hitting the floor.
It's time